So here you can see, you may note it down. So it is given in a vertical double acting steam engine, the connecting rod is 4.5 times of the crank and the engine runs at 250 rpm, and if the net load on the piston due to steam pressure is 25 kilonewton, when the crank has turned through an angle of 120 degree from TDC, determine the thrust on the connecting rod, pressure on slide bars, tangential force on the crank pin, thrust on bearings and turning moment on the crankshaft. You first note it down, then we'll into 250 divided by 60, so it will be 26.18 radian per second. Okay, 26.18 radian per second. Now next step is to find out the value of beta. So we will use this relation that sin beta is equal to sin theta by n. This we have already derived. So we have sin 120 degree divided by n value, we got 4.5. So it will be beta will be 11.1 degree. If you calculate, you will get beta as 11.1 degree. Now we will find out inertia force on the engine. Okay, inertia force on the engine. So it is denoted by FB, which is mr omega square cos theta plus cos 2 theta by n. Okay, so we can write this as 120 into 0.22 into your omega is 26.18 square into cos 120 plus your cos 240 divided by 4.5. Okay, so you will get a value of, you calculate this, how much it is coming around, let me know. My voice is audible to all of you, no? So you please calculate this value and let me know. I think it will come in negative because we have cos 240. Yes. So if you calculate this, it will be minus 11058 Newton. Okay. Now next is to find out the force on the piston. So the force on the piston F will be equal to force due to gas pressure Fp minus Fb, okay, plus mg, because it is a vertical engine, I told you. So we have this 25,000 minus of minus 11058, okay, and then plus m is given to you 120, mass is given, no, 120, yes, 120 into 9.81. So you'll get this F as 37235 Newton. Okay. Now next is to find out the thrust on the connecting rod. That means which force? Fc, force along the connecting rod, isn't it? And we know this is equal to F by cos beta. So F we have 372.35 divided by cos 11.1 degree. So this will be 379.45 Newton. Okay. I think this was the first question to find out the thrust and the connecting rod. Okay. So this is the first answer. Then next is to find out the pressure on the slide bar. Pressure on the slide bar. That means we have to find out Fn. Okay, the normal force acting on the cylinder. This is same as the slider. Okay, so this Fn will be equal to your F tan beta. So 372.35 of tan 11.1. So you will get a value of this Fn as 7305. You please recheck, huh? There may be mistake on my end. Then third was to find out the tangential force on the crank pin. The tangential force on the crank pin. So this will be Ft. So this is Fc sine theta plus beta. So I can write this as Fc is 37945 multiply with sine theta is 120 plus 11.1. So it will be 28594 Newton. Okay. Next is to find out the thrust on the bearing. Thrust on the bearings. So this is denoted by force Fr. Okay. So this Fr is Fc cos theta plus beta. Okay. Fc cos theta plus beta. So this Fc is 37945 cos your theta is 120 plus beta is 11.1. So it will be minus 24944 Newton. Okay. Then fifth step is the turning moment. Turning moment on crankshaft. So this T we can find as your Ft multiply with R. So we got Ft as 28594 into R was 0.2 622. So this will be 6290.7 Newton meter. So this way you have to find out all the associated force in case of a slider crank mechanism. Okay. Now I am giving you another problem and I am giving you 10 minutes, you solve it, then I will see. Okay, just wait. Let's say question is it visible to all of you, the question? So you write it down. I am giving you 10 minutes, you solve it. Okay. कहीं की फोन करते हैं तो एक्स्ट्रा क्लास गुड़ा न ले डायनामिक्स में से सॉरी हो 26 तो पड़ गया जो है नहीं 26 तो मिड टर्म में सॉरी लाइन करो এটা थर्ड मॉडल এটা 30 मार्क क्या है हां 30 मार्क सर N plus mg, or we can say at the point of reverse this f will be 0. So we have 5105 minus this 1.2 into 0.06 into omega square we need to find. Okay, then your cos 20 plus cos 40 divided by 4.5, okay, plus 1.2 into 9.81. So you can find out omega from here. So this will be 253.04, and from there you will get n, the speed at which the gudgeon pin is reversed in direction. So n is your 2416.3 rpm. Okay, this type of question you will get. Okay. Then we will discuss about simple and compound pendulums. Okay. Simple and compound pendulum. So your pendulum example you might have heard in your physics classes in your plus 2. Am I audible to all of you? समस्त साइलेंट कहीं अच्छा. So what is the difference between your vibration and oscillation? Normally in every vibration book you will see in the first page the example of a pendulum, but actually the pendulum never used to get vibrate, it used to oscillate, isn't it? Because in a simple harmonic way it used to get displaced from its mean position, then by virtue of its change in energy again it is get attracted to the mean position and the process repeat itself, that is your oscillation. But in vibration it happens at the molecular level inside the material itself. Okay. For example, a cantilever beam, if you give some initial displacement to it, it will get displaced from its mean position, then try to come to the normalcy over a period of time, that is your vibration. Okay. Now, this simple pendulum essentially consists of a heavy mass, you can say, let me draw it. Let us say this angle is theta, weight of the pendulum mass, or you can say this is generally called Bob, B-O-B. It is weight is mg. Okay, let's say this, if you extend the string direction, this angle will also be equal to theta, and the component of weight along this string direction is mg cos theta, and perpendicular to the string direction it will be mg sin theta. Okay. Now we can write first about the simple pendulum we are discussing. A simple pendulum consists of a heavy mass of ball, okay, of negligible dimension, suspended vertically, by means of inextensible weightless cord, okay, and the length of the cord is suppose capital L. Okay. Now let m is the mass and we can say W is the weight, L length of cord from point of suspension to the center of mass, and theta is the small angle of displacement given to the mass. Now the moment of inertia of the mass that is I will be equal to m into L square. Okay, we all know this. Now the couple tending to restore the mass, or you can say the restoring couple acting on the mass let's say it is denoted by T, will be equal to W into L sin theta. Okay, or you can say it is mgl sin theta. Okay, which we can also represent as mgl theta as theta being very small. Okay, now the angular acceleration of the chord alpha alpha is equal to T by I. Okay, so I can write here that mg L theta divided by I I was ml square, so ml square, so this is basically g by L theta. Okay, now we have this angular acceleration divided by angular displacement. If you take this ratio, angular acceleration divided by angular displacement, so it is alpha by theta is basically equivalent to g by L. Okay, which is a constant. And this indicates that the motion is approximately a SHM, okay, simple harmonic motion, and the frequency of oscillation is expressed by an equation 1 by 2 pi root over of g by L. Okay. Now time period can be expressed as 2 pi root over of L by G, reciprocal of frequency. Okay, so this two formula you need to remember for simple pendulum. This equation 1, let us say this is equation 2. Now coming to compound pendulum. Okay. Now, or it is also known as, some books you will find this is written as torsion pendulum. Okay. Now, when a rigid body is suspended, you can write, when a rigid body is suspended vertically and is made to oscillate with small amplitude under the action of gravity, it is known as compound or torsion pendulum. Now, let us draw a simple schematic. Let us say this is the compound pendulum and this one is its longitudinal axis, okay, and this point indicates its CG, okay, denoted by symbol G. Okay, let us say this point is O, okay, and the angle of orientation is theta, and the distance of G from point O is, let us say, it is A, denoted by small a. And the total weight acting at G is equal to your mg, and this angle is also equal to theta. So, the longitudinal component will be equal to mg sin theta, okay, mg cos theta, and this will be your mg sin theta component. Now, you can write here, m is the mass of body, w is the weight, k is the radius of gyration, a is the distance of center of mass, that is a G, from point of suspension, that is O. Okay. Now mass moment of inertia, we can represent this as the mass moment of inertia I can be written as m into k square plus a square. Okay. Now the couple tending to restore the body to its equilibrium position denoted by symbol T can be represented as W multiplied with A sin theta. Okay. So you can write this as mGA sin theta, or T can be expressed to an equivalent value of mGA theta, theta being very small. Very small. Okay. Then the angular acceleration of the chord alpha is equal to T by I. So it will be mg a theta divided by m times k square plus a square. Okay. So this is your angular acceleration equation. This one is equation 4, and your T, this one is equation 3. So now the ratio of angular acceleration divided by angular displacement that is your alpha by theta can be represented as GA divided by k square plus a square. Okay. This is a constant. Okay. So the frequency of oscillation will be, for compound pendulum, frequency of oscillation will be f is 1 by 2 pi root over of your GA divided by k square plus a square. Okay. So remember this formula, frequency of oscillation. This is phi. Then another important aspect which you usually get in questions, that is your equivalent length of simple pendulum, which will give same frequency as that of your compound pendulum. So the equivalent length L is basically k square plus a square divided by a. remember this. So, this is basically k square by a plus a. Question 6. Then one of the most important parameter which we come across designing any dynamically sound system is called dynamically equivalent system. Okay. Dynamically equivalent system. Okay. This is very important, dynamically equivalent system. Shall we proceed further? Screen देखा जानी गोटे सेकेंड आ तुम मैंने कौन एवं देखा एवं देखाला जो ना हम संगे संगे कहला मुझे जानीपारे ना. सो डायनामिकली इक्विवेलेंट सिस्टम you can write here that turning moment acting on the crankshaft can be determined by finding the net force acting on the piston. Now, the net force F may be the gas force with or without the inertia force. Okay, acting on the piston. The mass of the connecting rod is also significant okay, because of its huge size. The mass plays also a significant role. Therefore, the inertia force of the connecting rod I am writing in short CR should also be taken into account. Okay. So, further we can write as neither the mass of the connecting rod is uniformly distributed. Uniformly distributed, nor the motion is linear. Motion is linear. Its inertia cannot be found. Its inertia can't be found out as such. Therefore, inertia of connecting rod is considered. Inertia of connecting rod is considered by taking into account a dynamically equivalent system. देखा जाओ नहीं a dynamically equivalent system. Okay. The rigid link is replaced. The rigid link is replaced by a link with two point masses in a way that the same motion as that of the rigid link when subjected to the same force. So, basically what it is telling that instead of a connecting rod whose neither mass is uniform nor its motion is linear, we can consider a dynamically equivalent constant throughout structure, okay, like this. And the whole distribution of mass will be located at 2 points regarded as point masses. Okay. Let us say this is the G point of the connecting rod, okay, and this one is the direction of a force applied at a particular instant, okay, and this distance from the CG is denoted by say a symbol E, okay, and m is the mass of the connecting rod. Now, instead of that we will choose 2 point mass m1 and m2 at point let us say B and D, okay, and the distance of CG from these point masses are B from this side, and let us say this is small d from this side. Okay. Now we can write this as consider a rigid body of mass m with center of mass at G, and let F is the force acting on the rigid body, E is the perpendicular distance of this F from G, from the center of mass, and this small a is the linear acceleration of center of mass due to the applied force F. Okay. Now we can say that this applied force is equal to mass into acceleration. Okay. Or we can say this F multiply with the distance E is equal to your mass moment of inertia into angular acceleration. Okay. Let us say this is equation 1. Now the acceleration of the center of mass, that is G, which is denoted by symbol A, is equal to F by m. Let us say this is equation 2. Now the angular acceleration of the body will be denoted by symbol alpha will be equal to your F into E divided by I. Okay. Let us say this is equation 3. One is acceleration of the center of mass, another is angular acceleration of the body. Okay. Now in order to have a dynamically equivalent system, let the body is replaced by a link as shown in the second figure. Okay, figure 2, having 2 point masses, that is m1 at point B and m2 at point D. The following conditions should be should satisfy. First condition is that m should be equal to m1 plus m2. Okay, as the force F is to be same so the sum of equivalent masses m1 and m2 has to be equal to m. Okay, this is the first condition. Second condition, that your m1b should be equal to m2d, that distance from the second figure. So, to satisfy this equation 3, the numerator, that is your f dot e, okay, and the denominator that is I must remain same, and this is possible when the equivalent system has the center of mass at G. Therefore, this criteria should get satisfied. Okay. And third one, for same moment of inertia, this I should be equal to m1 b square plus m2 d square. I of the connecting rod should be equal to this right hand side value. So, these three criteria has to be satisfied to get a dynamically equivalent system. Okay. So, if you summarize this, you can write, therefore, through their combined center of mass is equal to that of the rod, or you can say the link. That means I should be equal to m1 b square plus m2 d square. So, these three equations are highly essential if at all you are interested for a dynamically equivalent system. Okay. Next class we will start inertia of connecting rod.